Hello, I'm going to show you how to create a C++ program using Xcode on Mac OS. So you'll have to install Xcode from your original install DVD that came from Apple. And go into your hard drive, you'll see a top-level folder called Developer. And if you go in there, there's an Applications folder, and down in there is Xcode. Just double click that and start it up. So Xcode, depending on the version you're running, they have this create new Xcode project right on front, but you can always just go to File, New Project. And then there's lots of different projects you can make, for your iPhone or whatever, but we want a Mac OS X application, and of the different types, we want the command line tool. And it'll automatically have the C++ thing set. If that's not set, just make sure you've got C++ selected. And then choose a folder. I'll just pick a folder on the desktop and we'll call it hello. And now we'll get the main Xcode window here, which, like our other tools, will have a project on the left, and under the source we'll get a main with a hello world in it. It's a little different than the ones we were doing in class. It's not using the standard namespace with the using directive, so we have to put the standard : in front of cout. You can always change that if you like, or leave it as it is. We'll just leave it as it is for now. And here's a hammer. You can hit the build and run, and it will compile it and run it. You'll see down in the lower right corner here, it says we had a success. But again, like, where is our output? Usually under the run menu, you can just select this console window, and you'll see the debugger console, which is basically how it's running your program. And right here, after running, we see our output, hello world, in bold. So just to make sure this is working, let's go in and change that a little bit. We'll just change the message here to wow, this works. And you can hit Command S to save it. There's the run button, which runs it, which again, unless you go over to the console window, you won't see the output. And we don't see the output. So what happened there? Let's do build and run. So build and run will recompile it. And now we saw, wow, this works. Okay, so for debugging, we're going to, pretty much like every other tool, just go into the source code, and we can go into the editor window here and left click on the line we want it to stop on. So let's say we want it to stop right before, or right once it hits this line that does the output. And then we can click build and debug once you have a breakpoint in there, as soon as you want to debug, and we'll start it up, and it'll run down to that line and stop. It hasn't executed this line yet, so if we go over to the console window, we'll see it hasn't really started or do anything yet. And over here in the debugger window, let me resize this so we can see them both. In the debugger window, we see these little buttons that'll let us run, step over a line, step into, and you can just leave your mouse there, step over a method. So let's step over our print statement. We see, wow, this works in the console window. And we can then step over whatever to continue. Or just let it run to the end, and it will exit normally. That's basically it. To find your file, like when you quit, if you go into the folder where you saved it, like in my case, the desktop, I see there's hello, and down in here is main.cpp. This Xcode proj, if you double click that, from now on, it'll just take you back into that project right where you left it and start up Xcode. That's basically it. Good luck.